Ferdinand Magellan, a name that resonates with the spirit of exploration and the relentless pursuit of the unknown, was born around 1480 in Sabrosa, a small town in the northern region of Portugal. His full name was Fernão de Magalhães, and he would later become known to the world as Ferdinand Magellan, the man who would embark on one of the most ambitious maritime expeditions in history. His life, marked by both triumph and tragedy, is a testament to the human desire to push the boundaries of the known world. Magellan's early life is shrouded in some mystery, but it is believed that he was born into a family of minor Portuguese nobility. His parents, Rodrigo de Magalhães and Alda de Mesquita, were likely of modest means, but they ensured that their son received a good education. Young Ferdinand was sent to the royal court in Lisbon, where he served as a page to Queen Leonor, the wife of King John II of Portugal. This position provided him with access to a wealth of knowledge, particularly in the fields of navigation, cartography, and astronomy, which were crucial for anyone aspiring to become an explorer. In 1505, at the age of 25, Magellan joined the Portuguese fleet under the command of Francisco de Almeida, the first viceroy of Portuguese India. This marked the beginning of his career as a seafarer and explorer. Over the next several years, Magellan participated in various military campaigns and expeditions, including the Battle of Diu in 1509, where the Portuguese fleet defeated a combined force of Ottoman, Mamluk, and Gujarati ships. These experiences not only honed his skills as a navigator but also exposed him to the complexities of international trade and the geopolitical rivalries of the time. Magellan's service in the Portuguese Navy took him to various parts of the world, including East Africa, India, and the Malay archipelago. It was during these voyages that he began to conceive the idea of finding a western route to the Spice Islands, modern-day Maluku Islands in Indonesia. The Spice Islands were the source of highly prized spices such as cloves, nutmeg, and mace, which were in great demand in Europe. At the time, the only known route to these islands was via the Cape of Good Hope at the southern tip of Africa, a journey that was long, dangerous, and controlled by the Portuguese. Magellan believed that there must be a shorter, more direct route by sailing westward, and he was determined to find it. However, Magellan's relationship with the Portuguese crown was not without its difficulties. After returning to Portugal in 1513, he found himself at odds with King Manuel I, who refused to support his proposed expedition to find a western route to the Spice Islands. The reasons for this refusal are not entirely clear, but it is believed that the king was skeptical of Magellan's plan and perhaps wary of his ambitions. Frustrated and disillusioned, Magellan made the bold decision to offer his services to the Spanish crown. In 1517, Magellan arrived in Seville, Spain, where he quickly gained the support of influential figures, including Juan de Aranda, the head of the Casa de Contratación, the House of Trade, which oversaw Spanish exploration and trade. With their backing, Magellan presented his proposal to King Charles I of Spain, who would later become Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. The young king, eager to compete with Portugal for control of the lucrative spice trade, agreed to fund Magellan's expedition. On March 22, 1518, the king and Magellan signed a contract that granted Magellan the authority to lead an expedition to find a western route to the Spice Islands. In return, Magellan and his business partner, Rui Faleiro, were promised a share of the profits and the right to govern any new lands they discovered. Preparations for the expedition began in earnest, and by August 1519, Magellan had assembled a fleet of 5 ships, the Trinidad, his flagship, the San Antonio, the Concepcion, the Victoria, and the Santiago. The crew consisted of around 270 men from various nations, including Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece, and even England. Among them was Antonio Pigafetta, an Italian scholar and adventurer who would later write a detailed account of the voyage, providing invaluable insights into the expedition. On September 20, 1519, Magellan's fleet set sail from Sanlúcar de Barrameda, Spain, embarking on a journey that would take them across the Atlantic Ocean, through the treacherous waters of the Strait of Magellan, and into the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. The voyage was fraught with challenges from the very beginning. The crew faced storms, mutinies, and the constant threat of starvation and disease. Despite these hardships, Magellan's leadership and determination kept the expedition on course. The fleet first sailed to the Canary Islands, where they resupplied before heading southwest across the Atlantic. By late November, they had reached the coast of South America, near present-day Rio de Janeiro. From there, they continued southward, searching for a passage that would take them to the Pacific Ocean. This part of the journey was particularly grueling, as the crew had to navigate through uncharted waters and endure harsh weather conditions. The Santiago was lost in a storm, and the San Antonio deserted the expedition, returning to Spain. Finally, in October 1520, after months of searching, Magellan discovered the strait that would later bear his name, the Strait of Magellan. This narrow, winding passage between the southern tip of South America and the island of Tierra del Fuego was the gateway to the Pacific Ocean. The passage through the strait was perilous, with strong currents, narrow channels, and unpredictable weather. It took the fleet over a month to navigate through the strait, but on November 28, 1520, they emerged into the vast, uncharted waters of the Pacific Ocean. Magellan named the ocean Mar Pacifico, Peaceful Sea, because of its calm waters, but the journey across the Pacific would prove to be anything but peaceful. The fleet sailed for months without sighting land, and the crew suffered from extreme hunger, thirst, and scurvy. Many men died, and those who survived were on the brink of despair. Finally, in March 1521, they reached the Mariana Islands, where they were able to resupply and rest. From there, they continued westward, reaching the Philippines later that month. In the Philippines, Magellan and his crew encountered various indigenous peoples, some of whom were friendly and others hostile. Magellan sought to establish alliances with local leaders and convert them to Christianity. On April 27, 1521, Magellan became involved in a conflict between two rival chieftains on the island of Mactan. Despite being outnumbered, Magellan led a small force of men in an attack on the island. The battle was fierce, and Magellan was struck by a poisoned arrow and killed. His death was a devastating blow to the expedition, but his crew was determined to continue the journey. Under the leadership of Juan Sebastian Elcano, the remaining crew members decided to press on to the Spice Islands. They reached the islands in November 1521, where they loaded their ships with valuable spices. From there, they faced the daunting task of returning to Spain. The Trinidad attempted to sail back across the Pacific but was captured by the Portuguese. The Victoria, the only ship to complete the circumnavigation, sailed westward across the Indian Ocean, around the Cape of Good Hope, and back to Spain. On September 6, 1522, the Victoria arrived in Sanlúcar de Barrameda, nearly 3 years after the expedition had begun. Of the original 270 crew members, only 18 survived to tell the tale. Magellan's expedition was a monumental achievement in the history of exploration. It was the first successful circumnavigation of the globe, proving that the Earth was round and that it was possible to sail around it. The voyage also opened up new trade routes and expanded European knowledge of the world. However, Magellan himself did not live to see the completion of his dream. His legacy is one of courage, determination, and the unyielding pursuit of discovery. In addition to the historical facts, there are also legends and myths surrounding Magellan's life and expedition. One such legend is that Magellan was guided by a vision or a divine calling to find a new route to the Spice Islands. Some accounts suggest that he had a dream in which he saw a strait leading to the Pacific Ocean, and this vision inspired him to undertake the perilous journey. Another legend claims that Magellan possessed a magical compass or astrolabe that helped him navigate through uncharted waters. While these stories are likely embellishments, they reflect the awe and admiration that Magellan's achievements inspired in his contemporaries and later generations. Magellan's life and expedition also had a profound impact on the indigenous peoples he encountered. In the Philippines, Magellan is remembered as both a hero and a villain. Some view him as a brave explorer who brought Christianity and European culture to the islands, while others see him as a symbol of colonialism and the exploitation of native peoples. The Battle of Mactan, in which Magellan was killed, is celebrated as a victory for Filipino resistance against foreign domination. In conclusion, the life of Ferdinand Magellan is a story of ambition, perseverance, and the enduring human spirit of exploration. His voyage around the world was a landmark event that changed the course of history and expanded the horizons of human knowledge. Despite the many challenges and setbacks he faced, Magellan's legacy endures as a testament to the power of determination and the quest for discovery. His name will forever be associated with the age of exploration and the boundless possibilities of the unknown.